Welcome, everyone, to this edition of the SMB Insider Spotlight. I'm Brent Combest, the General Manager for the Central Region here on the SMB team at Microsoft. And I'm joined today by Stephen Cracknell, who's the President of U.S. Medical IT. And it's a pleasure to have you here with us today, Stephen. Last year, you guys were the award winner for South Central Partner of the Year, a great accomplishment. So welcome and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Brent. I'm happy to be here.
So, hey, why don't we start off by you introducing your company and yourself and tell us a little bit about the business, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been in business since 2010. My wife and I decided to start this company back then. My wife's a nurse practitioner, and I had previously worked for Microsoft for 12 years. Just came to a point where we were like, if we were ever going to start a business, this would be the time. And so back then, we started it out. Our primary focus has always been around healthcare, but our primary focus when we got started was helping doctors move to electronic medical records. And so we did some consulting in that space. But we quickly found that the demand from our clients was more around the infrastructure and cloud computing. And so we pivoted and began selling more and more of Office 365. Back then it was called BPOS, but we were selling Office 365 to physician practices, hospitals, insurance companies, and the like. So that's how we got started, and that's how we started our journey into the cloud as well. Our mission is really helping people live healthier lives through thoughtful integration of healthcare and technology. And so what we want to be able to do is go into these organizations that maybe are running on older technology or technology is not well integrated and don't talk to each other, and be able to help them put that on a consistent platform, help them use that technology to provide better services to their patients. And my hope is that that'll translate into people getting better quality healthcare, living healthier lives, and improving their overall sense of well-being.
Sure, that makes sense. And I love the vertical specialization of all the partners that I've worked with around the world. The ones that have the highest levels of growth really have that focus element. So it's great to see that you guys have that already naturally there, and you have the knowledge and background to really take advantage of that. Maybe take just a minute and tell us about the journey from inception to where you're at today. What were some of the milestones or some of the bigger things that led to where you're at today?
Sure, yeah. So we started with a focus on electronic medical records, basically the line of business app for doctors. And what we found out relatively quickly is that that's a bit of a flash in the pan. Once the product's been deployed, then that particular service, there's not a long-term need for it. But where there is a long-term need and where we can continue to provide value is just along the infrastructure and the platform that they are sitting on top of, from a productivity standpoint, from an infrastructure server standpoint, as well as security. So we quickly pivoted to starting to provide Office 365 productivity services. More and more our clients come back to us talking about aging servers, and we move them into the cloud, get Active Directory up there, create the VPN tunnels, and start to give them a cloud-based platform to build on top of. And so that's been our journey. Maybe the other piece of it that I'd mention is that the security, because of compliance, is a high priority for our clients, and so we've been using Enterprise Mobility plus Security Suite to provide a lot of those services to our clients.
Wow, so it sounds like you've done a great job of bringing together a number of different technologies to really help meet the needs of your clients, and it's always an ever-evolving story, and almost seems like things are getting faster and faster as the market continues to develop and mature. But with that in mind, what's next? What's the road ahead look like? What's the next big thing for you?
Where we need to go is continue to grow our managed services offering so that we have a solid recurring revenue stream coming into our business. Productization of our offerings so that it's clean and simple when we explain it to clients, so that the value is clear, the costs are clear, it's easier for them to say yes when they see that. And I think building out our specific healthcare related solutions, those are parked around compliance offerings, policies and procedures. We have a telemedicine solution that we have available, and then insights for our clients through business intelligence and Power BI. Those are all our key offerings that I want to lock down into a solid package that's profitable for us and releases a lot of value for our clients, and it's easy for my employees to explain to people why it's important to move in one of those directions when the time comes.
Sure, and I like that a lot, because the more that, you guys have a great vertical orientation, and then you take and you add on top of that the element of productizing things, and that's what creates such great efficiency and scale for a business and can really drive tremendous amounts of growth. And at the same time, it creates efficiency and drives down cost and things like customer acquisition, and it makes it just that much easier to sell. So I love that strategy of where you guys are going. If you were to give one piece of advice or think back along your journey to one thing that you've learned that your peers could benefit from, what would that be?
I think you got to find that value that's easy to explain to an end user in terms that they understand, not the technical terms, but the business value terms. That's essentially your marketing message. Make sure that that's clean and crisp, that anyone on your team can explain it on a dime, because people are meeting with people every day at the Boy Scout meetings and parties and the likes, and to be able to explain how you release value can open up new opportunities for you. So being crisp about that value from their perspective, and I think, as we mentioned, the productization or the repeatability of processes internally, focusing on that drives the profitability, and the simplification so that you can scale only comes from having a consistent offering that everyone can, it resonates with people and they want to purchase, and it seems like a good deal to them, the cost of it versus the value you're releasing. So that's what I would ask them. I would recommend they focus on those types of efforts.
Sure, I couldn't agree more. You guys got a great formula there with what you're doing and how you're driving that. And I think that value element is something that comes up over and over as we're doing these partner spotlights, is they understand how to translate the technology, speak the vernacular of the customer, make it relevant for them, and then even take it a step further to quantify its impact. To me, that's a winning formula there. Stephen, I want to thank you so much for taking the time today and sharing your journey and your insights with us. This is incredibly helpful, and I think it's something that many other partners will find value in. So thanks so much, and I greatly appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity.